channel. Please share it with your near and dear. We use was a word in such structures also, like subject plus was a word plus about plus 2 plus v1. So in this structure also we use was a word. So this structure is used to talk about the thing which happened in the past. But in what way? A thing was going to happen very soon. We talk about a thing which was going to happen very soon. For such kind of things we use this structure. For example, the crow was about to eat. The crow was about to eat the piece of meat just then. A fox came there. So the crow was about to eat the piece of meat. Just then a fox came there. And in the same way, one more example I want to give you. In the morning, just then my friend came in. So in this way, something was about to start, just then some other thing happened. In such case, we use this structure with was a verb. One more structure we can use. Okay, after phrase or clause as subject. Subject also we can use was. Example, to get first rank in SSC exam was my goal in those days. You see here, to get first rank in SSC exam, this is one phrase. So which is working as here? Subject. Okay. After subject, we are able to use was or were. And in the same way, what Gandhi followed in those days was right. So in this way, what Gandhiji followed in those days, this is one clause really. Okay, so this clause also working here as subject. Okay, in this way, okay, sometimes maybe phrase, maybe clause work as subject, and after that we use was a were. Such a way we use this was a were structure in a different way, right? Now we are switching over to questions part. Okay. So how to frame questions positively and negatively? So it's very easy. As B form was a were they, we can easily change the order of subject and was a were. Right. Okay. First, positively, let us talk about positive statement. Yes or no type question. And WH and how type of questions. Okay. For example, he was clever once. He was clever once. So just by changing the order of subject and helping verb or be form was, we get yes or no type question. Was he clever once is the question. Okay, and in the same way, in what field, was he clever? Like that we can put a question. And for example, Gandhi was a lawyer. Simply changing the order, was Gandhi a lawyer? And WH questions like what was Gandhi? What was Gandhi? So this is a question which seeks the answer to be occupation. Okay, in this way we can put questions also. Okay, negatively, let us go to negative. Negative. Ravi wasn't in the classroom in the morning. Ravi wasn't in the classroom in the morning. Simply changing the order, wasn't Ravi in the classroom in the morning. So this is a question. And then why wasn't Ravi in the classroom in the morning? This is a question. And one more example I want to give you. For example, there weren't any trees in the garden once. There weren't any trees in the garden once. Simply the question is there weren't. So this is missing, sorry. There weren't any trees in the garden once. Changing the order, weren't there any trees in the garden once? Weren't there any trees in the garden once? This is a question. So negative yes or no type question. And why? By using why weren't there? Why weren't there any trees in the garden once? So in this way we can use the WH and how type of questions also. And if you want questions with who, how many people, and how many of you, how many of us, how many of them, simply we have to go back to statement part only. For example, he was clever once. Simply removing this he, if you use who was clever once is a question. And for example, you see, if it is plural, who were clever once. In the same way, how many people were clever once? How many of you were clever once? Like that, we can take he, who, how many people, how many of you, how many of us, how many of them. So in the place of subject in a statement, if you use, you can get WH and how type of questions with who and how many people, like that. Okay, this is the way of putting questions. Now let's learn another structure. Simple past. Was or were also V2 forms only, but in this structure we don't use was or were because we have already learned the structure with was or was separately. So we don't want to learn these things here as we have already learned. Excluding those two, we use other V2 forms. Okay, simple past, subject plus V2. So whatever may be the subject, we have to use only V2. Let it be singular subject or let it be plural subject also. Always it takes V2. And the conditions in what we use simple past. Number one, for the actions completed in the past. For the actions completed in the past. We use a subject plus V2, a simple past, for the actions completed in the past. Example, they played cricket yesterday. They played cricket yesterday. We visited. I went, subject plus V2. They played. I read. Read, read. Okay, as per this, so okay, we are using subject plus V2 only for past habitual actions also. I went to college regularly is indicating that it is habitual action. Every day also indicates habitual action. Daily also indicates habitual action. For past habitual actions also we use simple past. Okay, in these two conditions we use simple past. Okay, now subject is they. Instead of played, we have to use V1 form only. So it is, did they play? Did they play cricket yesterday? Did they play cricket yesterday? Is the question. Whether they played cricket yesterday, if you want to ask any person, then we put a question in this way. Did they play cricket yesterday? And for example, where? before this, if you use where did they play cricket? Where did they play cricket? Yesterday. Where did they play cricket? Yesterday. Simply we are using the word where before this yes or no type question. Where did they play cricket? Yesterday. And if you want to put a question with when did they play cricket? Simply we remove yesterday. When did they play cricket? If you want to put a question with how did they play cricket yesterday? You can say where, when, and which game. If you want to put a question with which game did they play yesterday, like that we can put questions. And if you want to put a question with why, for example, why did they play cricket yesterday? In this way, simply we have to use WH and how type of words before yes or no type questions. This is not only the case here, this is the same case with all other structures so far we have learnt. Not only this one, in complete English language only, okay, WH and how type of questions are very easy. Just we have to use those words just before yes or no type questions only. And let us take one more example. She learnt English. She learnt English. And to make a question, as we have already said, did, we have to take as helping verb. Subject is she here. Did she? Learn is the V1 form. Learn. Did she learn English? Did she learn English? Whether she learnt English, like that we are asking question. And to put a question with the why did she learn English? Why did she learn English? If you want to put a question with WH word like why, simply you are using that word before yes or no type question. Why did she learn English? Where, if you want to put a question with where did she learn English? How did she learn English? And what language, if you want to put a question with what language did she learn? In which institute did she learn English? Like that you can simply add those words to this yes or no type question. Okay, for example, if it is a question with who and how many people, or how many of you, or how many of us, how many of them, as we have already talked about that, we have to come back to statement only. So in the statement, if you remove subject and use who, it becomes a question. They played cricket yesterday is statement, but if you say who instead of they, who played cricket yesterday is a question. How many people played cricket yesterday? Also a question. How many of you played cricket yesterday? How many of them played cricket yesterday? How many of us played cricket yesterday? In this way, simply we have to use negative way also. Let's learn negative. Negative. For negative also we have to take helping verb did and V1 only. Okay. She didn't, did plus int form. Okay, she didn't complete her work. She didn't complete her work. And the question for this, simply as helping verb is already used here, we have to change the order of subject and helping verb to get yes or no type question negatively. She didn't. Didn't she? Didn't she? Didn't she complete? Complete. So after did we have to use V1 form only, and here also the same V1 form. Didn't she complete her work? Didn't she complete her work? If you get a doubt whether she completed work or not, you put a question like Didn't she complete her work? All right. And a question with why. Why didn't she complete her work? Is a question. And one more example also, if you take, you didn't attend the party. Question is, didn't you attend the party? Didn't you attend the party is the question, yes or not a question. And why, if you use a why didn't you attend the party? So in this way we put questions. And okay, if you want to put a question with who and how many people, like that, the same again. She didn't complete her work. Removing she, if you use who didn't complete her work? And in the same way, how many of you didn't complete your work? Like that. How many of them didn't complete their work? Such a way, who, how many people, how many of you, how many of them, how many of us. Simply we have to go back to statement and remove subject and use them, so that we get WH and how type of questions also. Thank you for watching this channel. We'll meet in the next episode.